Namaste, guys. This is Lena from SATYA Holistic Living. And I shared a couple of weeks ago this concept of the seasons of life, how there's a different time for different things at different times of the year and different times of life. And so, with now us being pretty well into spring season, at least down in the southern hemisphere and down here in the southwest of Australia, I just want to quickly talk about spring cleaning or spring cleansing our bodies at this time of the year. So this is the Kapha time of the year. Kapha dosha is that which holds. It's made of the elements water and earth in Ayurvedic traditions. Ayurveda is, if you haven't heard me talking about it, is the natural preventative healing or medicine system originated in India over 5,000 years ago that teaches you to become your own healer by cultivating body awareness and the awareness of the circadian rhythms of the nature around you and how they're influencing you and your body. So if you want to learn more on the basics of Ayurveda, just head to my website, and under Ayurveda and Consults, you find a couple of videos that outlines the basics as well as my free dosha quiz. Anyways, jumping forward on this, so it's Kapha time of the year. Kapha is, like I said, water and earth. So Kapha energy has very heavy, dense, solid, grounded, moist, cold kind of qualities. And so these are qualities that have accumulated within our systems due to those qualities having been dominant in our environment throughout winter. And so with the accumulation of these qualities now moving into spring, we're having to, literally spring cleanse ourselves to, get rid of the old, make space for the new, circulate our energy, release any stagnation that is still there to get ready to fully move into new season and get ready for the year and the times ahead. And personally, and I know that many people suffer from the same hay fever or spring allergies becomes a huge thing for me in spring, which I keep forgetting about as soon as it passes, and then next year it hits me by surprise again, and here we are with hay fever. And so that actually has to do a lot with kapha imbalances as well, or the accumulation of this kapha qualities and energies within our system. So excess kapha, too much kapha means it's things like mucus congestion, like nasal things, blocked sinuses, watery eyes, sneezing, coughing, mucus. You can also see it if you have any excess plaque on your tongue, like a white kind of coating in the back of it. That's all a sign of excess mucus, and excess mucus is kapha really coming through this time of the year. So if hay fever or not, regardless, we do have this more stagnant energy in our bodies that has accumulated than we would have in summer. So, and there's a few different things we can consciously take care of to cleanse ourselves from that and just get energy moving via diet, lifestyle, mindset, and so forth. So the first thing, having spoken of hay fever, is a really amazing remedy that I found last year myself. And it is taking fenugreek with local honey, and it literally helps me. Again, keep in mind everyone is different and by individuality comes in, but for me personally, it's a huge relief of my day-to-day hay fever symptoms. So what I do first thing in the morning, and I'll be honest, I forget it a lot of days and I regret it, but when I do it, you take about a teaspoon of fenugreek. Fenugreek almost look like big bee pollen. You'll be able, it's a spice, you'll be able to get it in the health food shop, if not even in your spice section in the supermarket, fenugreek. You have a teaspoon of that. You cook it in hot water instead of making a tea with boiled water. I like to actually boil my tea on the stove. So having a teaspoon of fenugreek, boiling it in hot water, and then once that's boiled, leave it for about 5 minutes, a bit longer if you can. The longer you boil it, the more fenugreek qualities you get out of it. Strain it, or you can eat them if you eat them. They're quite bitter. I do eat them. And once it's cooled down a little bit, you put in local honey. So that's the important part. It needs to be local honey, as in as local as possible, because obviously the honey in your local environment has been made of the local pollen and plant matter that flowers in this season, which you may be allergic to. So it kind of helps to build up your immunity using this kind of honey. So there's not really a point if you use honey from the other side of the world, but try to get it as local as possible and see what it does for you. It can have an amazing effect on your hay fever symptoms. So that's one thing to alleviate any kapha congestion, excess congestion from winter. You can even try this one without having hay fever symptoms, because it just helps to relieve any excess mucus from your body, and the spice, the fenugreek, the rough quality of the honey, which is a scraping quality, just helps to get any excess sluggishness from your body going, from your body system. So other few things, when people think about detox, you quite commonly think about diet and, having a meal plan or doing a juice fast or whatever it is. But a detox, I like to look at it holistically. And so other things to rid yourself of this sluggishness and this winter heaviness is rising early to start with. Rise with the sun. We are naturally awake at about 5:30 now when it's light outside, which has really increased over the last few weeks. If you can get up early, you're rising before the kapha period of the day, and you come into a more energetic frequency to continue your day on instead of sleeping in and being sluggish. Then have switching your foods from, how in winter we naturally kind of crave those mushy, warm, soupy, grounding, dense, heavy, nourishing kind of warm foods. And now we want to start to slowly swap them out for rather refreshing, light, green kind of foods. So things like bitter greens, for example, are amazing for cleansing. Things like rocket, but also use spinach, beetroot is incredible for cleansing, detoxifying the body. Just think of anything green. Increase and cruciferous vegetables, which are your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, artichokes, all those guys are then in the cruciferous vegetable family. But basically, if you can just increase your intake of green vegetables specifically, also increasing the intake of a few more raw foods, especially salads and things, not all around the clock, but just starting to swap a lot of the heavy meals for a little bit more of the raw, light, fresh stuff. And that also helps to just get any excess, sorry, I'm itching from my hay fever. Helps you to get rid again of any excess stagnation in your body. What else you can do is obviously we're circulating our energy the easiest by creating movement. And so that's obviously a physical movement. And whether it's for you going to the gym or going for a surf or a run or just walking your dog around the property in the morning or around the park or wherever you are, any kind of movement, especially first thing in the morning, ideally before you have breakfast. And in Ayurveda, when talking about movement or exercise, we don't mean going to your and going hard, going to your limit and breaking out in excessive sweating. Exercise really means gentle movement to warm up your system until you just about start to break a sweat, if even. Like, you don't have to overexhaust yourself when we're talking movement, but go and get going, go and move, start your morning actively by, even if it's doing a few stretches still in bed, like seated yoga poses, like lengthening out from one side to the other side, or whatever it is, rolling the shoulders, maybe jumping and shaking, maybe going for a morning swim if you have beach access, which is so invigorating and amazing to just get your circulation going in the morning. Movement also starts before we start to physically move our bodies with breathing, and that enhances our circulation. So doing breath work or breathing techniques in your meditation is a great thing, or just a moment of mindfulness, especially in the morning, to just prepare yourself for your day ahead and come from this internally centered space to meet the outside world from, as opposed to reaching out to the outside world without having this inner centeredness or groundedness. Centeredness, you know what I mean. So a great breathing modality or breathing technique to really get the circulation, the blood flow and oxygen flow going is Kapha breathing, or the breath of fire. And I'm just going to real quickly demonstrate, but there's also a YouTube video on it. If I've already uploaded it, you will find it on my channel, SATYA Holistic Living. Anyways, Kapha breathing. You still breathe in and out of your nose actively, but it's also a cleansing pranayama, cleansing breathing technique. It really literally helps to cleanse your sinuses, so don't do it in front of anyone. But you're actively exhaling out of your nose while you're passively inhaling through the nose. So all you want to do is just focus on pushing this exhale out there, and you find that your inhale is coming automatically. You don't need to do it fast or slow, do it to your own comfort. Just focus on that you do it full strength, full power. So it sounds and looks a little bit like this, and I'm just placing my hand here because I'm sort of pushing from, you know, those fire things, those to get the fire going with. So it's the same movement with your diaphragm. You're pushing the air out from your diaphragm. So it's this. So you might want to do a few rounds of this, then have a few normal breath cycles in between, see what subtle sensations you're getting through your body, how it's affecting your body. And like I said, it gets your circulation going. So if you're a Vata person, a very sort of lightheaded person, you can quickly get lightheaded or dizzy. If you feel that that's the case, then stop. Always listen to your own body first. If it goes well for you, then, you know, say you do 15 to 20 repetitions, like breath cycles in the first round, then stop, take 3 to 5 normal breath cycles, come into the second round, and perhaps increase your repetitions a little bit to 20, 25, 30 breaths at a time. The little midget is in the background, right there in this chair. So anyways, this breathing, Kapha, the breath of fire, another great tool to circulate your energy, get you going, you know, eliminate anything that's stagnant. Talking of cleansing techniques, I mentioned earlier this white coating on your tongue, which is actually an indication of ama, which is toxins in your digestive tract, but usually this ama is caused or also has to do with excess mucus, which again comes from excess kapha quality or kapha dosha. So what I do every night, every morning is tongue scraping. With a tongue scraper, that's this little copper thing here. And you do that right back and scrape all any excess toxins, plug off, eliminate it from your body. Cleansing technique number 1. Another cleansing technique, which is amazing, especially when having, you know, runny nose, mucus, blocked sinuses, neti pot. So, which is nasal cleansing. Use a little bit of salt and warm water. Pour it down one nostril with this neti pot. It's coming out of the other nostril, and then you do it the other way, and it actually flows through your sinuses up here, comes back out there. There's another catheter cleansing technique that goes from your nose through your mouth. Doing this one, which I won't elaborate on too much right now, as I feel like many people maybe a bit standoffish to that, but if you're, you know, it's a great thing to do. Look more into it, contact me. Yeah, so that's that for cleansing techniques. And then speaking of, you know, spring cleansing, not just internally, but also externally, look after yourself, look after your, oh, one thing I forgot, externally, look after yourself, skin, dry brushing. Another amazing thing to get your circulation going, and that really is key in spring, to just sweep out, get rid of all excess by creating internal movement with your circulation, and that then brings external movement and refreshment, new, you know, rejuvenation and new motivation. So dry brushing is amazing also first thing in the morning, unless you are a type of person with really dry skin. You'd be better off doing like an oil exfoliation or something in the shower, so that you're exfoliating but you're also rejuvenating with oil again. Otherwise, if your skin is fine, do dry brushing to get rid of any old dead skin cells, and again to allow the blood to come into the upper skin layers, that opens your pores, that refreshes your body, and so forth. And then talking of spring cleansing, where I was going to go. Consider your environment, consider your outer appearance, but also consider your home environment, consider your property, house, flat, block, wherever you're at. And if you've heard of Feng Shui, which is the Asian, I think Japanese art of creating energy flow in your environment by placing things in an energetically flowy way, it's a good time to readjust, to shuffle things around, to just circulate energy and release anything that doesn't serve anymore, anything that is stagnant, that's there from the previous seasons that doesn't serve anymore. Give it a little shake up. And all this helps to eliminate any excess kapha qualities in your body. And as always, as I mentioned in my newsletters, I like to make this little video check-in interactive. So if you do have any comments, any feedback, any questions, pop it into the comment box below. If you're receiving this via email because you've signed up to my email tribe, then you can always hit reply, send me any questions, feedback, and so forth via email, and I'll be sure to bring it up in the coming updates and news and discuss it. And yes, looking forward to hearing and seeing more of you guys. Hope you're enjoying the rest of a beautiful week, and speak to you very soon. Namaste.